Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how I can create this abstract goal trailer in Blender. So let's get started. First let's delete everything and add a Suzanne. Now going to side view, rotate it like this and move it up like this and press Ctrl 3. Shade smooth. Now go to shading and let's go to rendered view and set the world to black. Add a spotlight and let's also add an empty plane axis. Select the spotlight and go to the object constraint properties and select drag to. Select the empty as the target and now move the light up. As you can see, it will now be dragged to the empty. So let's move it over here and set the strength to 100 probably. Yes, that's good. Or maybe let's go into top view, move it over here and set it to 150. Now duplicate it, move it over here and set it to 75. And again, let's duplicate it. Now select Suzanne again and click on New. If you want to have this preview, I have a link to the add-on that I used for that in the description. Add a color ramp and set the black to 0.5, the white to 0.501 and make the white something golden like this. Connect the color to the base color and let's also add a bump node. Connect that to the normal. Add a noise texture. Now connect the factor to the factor here, to the height of the bump node and to the roughness. Now add a Rohner texture and set it to F2. Set the scale to 10 and the randomness to 0. Connect the distance to the vector. Now with the Rohner texture selected, let's press Ctrl T if you have the node ring add-on installed, which comes with Blender by default, and connect the object to the vector. Now we have something like this. Now I made a little mistake with the world properties. I am going to use an environment texture. I'm going to put a link to the environment texture that I used in the description. Go back to layout mode and add a plane. Scale it by 100 for example. And now shift select Suzanne and press Ctrl L, link to materials. If we go to rendered view now, as you can see this is too big, so let's select the plane, go to shading and duplicate the shader by clicking on this symbol here. And now let's scale this up to something that you like. I'm going to leave it somewhere around here. Maybe a little bit smaller, like this. I think this is okay. So now let's save if you haven't already, just to be sure. I'm going to call it tutorial. Go back to layout mode. Now let's set up the camera. Select Suzanne and press delete on the numpad. Hit Shift A and add a camera. Ctrl Alt 0 to go into camera view and G set to move it like this. Let's go up here and set this to face because I'm going to add an empty, and if we hit G now and Control, it's going to snap to the face of Suzanne. So I'm going to leave it around here. Now select the camera, go to the object data properties and enable depth of field, and let's select empty 001. I'm going to set the f-stop to 0.3. Now go up here and I'm going to render this in cycles with denoise enabled. You can use optics if you have an NVIDIA GPU, or OpenImage denoise. If you don't, you can only use OpenImage denoise, but I prefer optics. Under color management, let's set it to standard and the look to high contrast, exposure to -1. And now let's select the first spotlight again and set the power to 300. And for the other two, let's set it to 150. Now let's save and go to render image. So that's it with the tutorial. I hope you liked it. Please let me know what I should do next, and I'll see you next time.